Ready? Go. Oh, we're going to stretch, do a little bit of stretching on the upper body. So let's lie back. And what I'll tend to do better on the more narrow tables is I will check the patient's range of motion, and I'll have them drop both arms back. Now, this is a wide table, but what ends up happening is their arms hang off the table, and you get to see if there's any hang-ups in the pec, in her ranges of motion, typically in the pecs. So what I'll tend to do is I'll bring let's slide to the side so I can get a good stretch here. So I'll drop the arm back like this, and I might place some digital pressure on the pec, and then drop it back and drop it back. For some of the bigger, more robust muscles with the athletes, I'll just take the palm of my hand and get in there and then stretch. And again, everything's a rhythm, because if you go straight to holding it down, it might end up irritating the patient. So I'll do it with some motion in there, putting pressure on. Also asking if their fingers are going numb or not, because you're right over a vascular bundle that feeds that area. So now, what I'll do, and what I have seen some fascinating stretching with some Major League Baseball guys and even some quarterbacks, but mainly with some of the pitchers in Major League Baseball, they'll go ahead and they'll crank the arm back like this and do it in repetitions. And some of these guys are so flexible that you can get away with a lot. Now, one of the key things, if you're working on a tennis player or a pitcher or a quarterback, man, you want to start with their non-dominant side first. Because before you start stretching their $1 million arm, you want them to feel an idea of and feel comfortable and have an idea of what you're going to do to their dominant, money maker. So now we'll go into the opposite direction and do repetitions and stretch. Now, one of the key things that I do is I'll put traction on the humerus, pulling it from the glenohumeral joint. So now when I do that, I am putting a lot of emphasis on the capsule. So I'll be stretching, and again, find your rhythm. Stretch, pull, stretch, pull, stretch, pull, like that. Then I'll go ahead and I'll want to work some of the forearm muscles. I'll put the hand into palmar flexion, and then I'll go ahead and I'll drill down on the extensors, like so, and then give it a break and get in there. And I don't often use a lot of lotion. Sometimes it bothers the patient, but it makes your traction a little bit easier to get in and work those trigger points. Then I'll go to this side and use maybe my index finger and go ahead and work some of the flexors. Now, from there, I'll go ahead and adjust the carpal tunnels, carpal tunnel bones, and then adjust extremities, some of the digits. I mean, that's not the whole focus of this stretching, but this is probably one of the most beneficial stretches I'm going to show you that opens up the tunnel of Guyon. Here, you got the flexor retinaculum that covers that area. And when you got someone who's using their hands a lot, whether in judo or pitching, quarterbacking, hockey, tennis, you start to develop calluses. You think just the calluses on the palmar surface are just what you see visibly, but underneath you also have irritation and calluses or scar tissue forming at the flexor retinaculum. So I actually learned this in China when I went to Beijing at the Olympic Training Center, and that was to open up the tunnel of Guyon by separating that flexor retinaculum by really working on opening that up. Sometimes if the patient's got a big hand and there's a lot of callus formation, I'll have them sit up and push down while I separate that area like so. Come down, open it up, and they usually feel really comfortable from that. Good? Okay.